All right, let's talk about Tilray Brands, ticker TLRY. This stock has been on an absolutely wild run, but if you look just a little closer, you'll see this incredible technical tug-of-war happening right now. So, the big question is, are the bulls or the bears about to win this thing? Let's break it all down.
So here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at Tilray's recent roller coaster ride. Then, we'll dive into the two conflicting trends that are literally pulling the stock in opposite directions. After that, we'll decode some technical clues, find the exact price battleground, and finally, map out the two most likely ways this could all play out.
First up, Tilray's wild ride. To really get what's happening now, you have to appreciate just how dramatic the last 3 months have been. And when I say roller coaster, I mean it.
Okay, let's set the scene. Just go back to early September. The stock was trading way down at around 35 cents. That was the bottom, the absolute starting line for everything that happened next. And then, bam, the explosion. Just about a month later, on October 9th, the stock shot up to a peak of $2.32. I mean, talk about a monumental climb. It just goes to show you the kind of explosive power this stock can have.
So get this, even after pulling back from that high, the stock is still up a whopping 161% over the last 3 months. Now, a run like that is gonna turn heads for sure, and it raises one huge question. What's next?
And that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? When you see this kind of extreme volatility, a massive run-up and then a sharp pullback, it's a huge sign that there's a major conflict brewing just under the surface. To understand it, we've got to look past the price and get into the technicals.
Which brings us right to the heart of the matter, a tale of two trends. Because depending on how you look at it, your time frame, you see a completely different story for Tilray, and that right there is the source of this whole stalemate.
This really lays out the conflict perfectly. On one hand, if you zoom in, the short-term view looks pretty bearish. The moving averages that track recent prices are sitting above the current price, which suggests selling pressure, probably from people taking their profits. But then you zoom out and the long-term view is totally bullish. Those longer-term averages are way below the current price, which tells you the bigger upward trend is still very much alive and kicking.
And hey, the source material says it perfectly. The medium and long-term trends remain bullish, but short-term momentum has weakened. The stock is basically at a crossroads, caught between its past strength and its current uncertainty.
Okay, so let's get a little more specific now and start decoding the clues. We're going to look at some key indicators that analysts use to figure out what the market is thinking and see who might just have the upper hand here.
First on the list is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Put simply, this tool is all about momentum. It tells us if a stock is overbought, meaning it might be due for a pullback, or if it's oversold, which could mean it's ready for a bounce.
So where is Tilray's RSI right now? Well, it's sitting at 58.12. That's smack dab in the middle of neutral territory. It's not screaming that the stock is too hot, but it's not saying it's a bargain either. The RSI is kind of just shrugging its shoulders, which just adds to this whole stalemate theme.
And this is where the plot really thickens. When we look at other indicators, we get mixed signals. The MACD, which is all about trend momentum, is actually positive. That suggests the bulls are building strength. But then you look at volume, and you see a high volume sell-off, a classic bearish sign. Meanwhile, the ADX, which measures how strong a trend is way up at 46.43. So what that tells us is, whichever way the stock finally breaks, that move is going to have some serious power behind it.
So all this technical data, it isn't just a bunch of abstract numbers on a screen. It's playing out as a very real fight over very specific price levels on the chart. This is the actual battleground where the bulls and bears are going head-to-head. For the bulls, the big hurdle is the resistance ceiling, right around $1.85. You can think of this as a wall they need to smash through. Sellers have shown up here before, so breaking above it would be a huge win for them. And then on the other side of the fight, you've got the support floor at about $1.60. This is the line in the sand. It's a price where buyers have stepped in to defend the stock. If the bears can push the price below this level, well, that's a sign they're taking over.
And where is the stock right now? Stuck, right in the middle of these two levels. It's trading in this sort of no man's land, just kind of consolidating after that huge move, waiting for one side to finally make a decisive push.
So with everything we've looked at, we can now start to map out the two most likely scenarios. This is where all that analysis comes together and gives us a pretty clear picture of what could be coming next.
The two paths from here depend completely on that battleground we just talked about. So scenario 1, the bullish path. If the stock can hold above that $1.60 support floor, the bulls could build up enough steam to try and take out that $1.85 resistance. If they break through cleanly, the next target could be up around $2.03. But the bearish path, if that $1.60 support cracks, the sellers are in charge, and we could see the price drop down towards the next big support area around $1.35.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. Tilray is basically catching its breath after a monster rally. We've got a clear conflict, weak short-term signals fighting against a strong long-term bullish trend. The main event, the key battle, is being fought between that 160 support floor and the 185 resistance ceiling. And with all the technical indicators giving us mixed messages, we are in a true deadlock. And that just leaves us with the ultimate question. With both sides dug in so deep, and the technicals showing a perfect stalemate, who is going to blink first? Who's going to be the one to finally pull the price out of this no man's land and claim victory in this technical tug of war?